Yes, people, welcome back to FPL Hive, where game week 2 has finished, but we're already looking at game week 3. And today we're discussing the top 10 transfers in ahead of the Saturday deadline. So guys, make sure you like this video, make sure you get your comments in, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell for FPL Hive. And we're going to be giving you the rundown. So let's get straight into it. So the first player, after delivering, and some people even put him captain this weekend, is Mr. Joao Pedro. Baines, buy, wait, or avoid the Brazilian striker?
This is a difficult one because obviously we were both looking at potentially transferring him out last week. But I think for me, the most important thing was the role that Joao Pedro had against West Ham. Joao Pedro played a lot in behind Liam Delap, and I think that really suits Joao Pedro's game because we know 100%. He can score goals. We know he can get those assists. We know how good he is technically to play in those pockets. So I think if Enzo Maresca continues playing with that same setup, which I think he will after that, in fact, 5-1 victory, he has to be a buy. Fulham, decent defence, but listen, Chelsea are one of the best sides in the league.
Away after that as well, back-to-back West London derbies.
Yeah, I would say you have to buy now.
Yeah, I've got Joao Pedro anyway, and he's a definite keep for me. I think the Palmer injury actually was a blessing for him. And now we've seen what he can do in a number 10 role. And also he's getting a lot of minutes when he's playing in that role. And we don't know how long Palmer's out for. So with international break coming up for this weekend, I would say it's a buy at 7.5. And over to the second player, one of the most transferred in players last week, but will he be this week? Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth. Tottenham away this week. Interesting looking fixture. I'm actually going to the game. What's your thoughts on Mr. Antoine?
Buy. I keep saying it. Now is the time that we have to target Bournemouth plays. And listen, even against Wolves, he got an assist, but he also accumulated 0.68 XG, which is more than most strikers in the Premier League.
Did you see his chance that he missed from like 2 yards out?
Exactly, but that's a good thing because he's still getting those chances. And I think, listen, we have a lot of questions about Bournemouth defensively with all the changes, but going forward, they're still a threat. Tottenham is a difficult fixture, to be honest. Maybe, as much as I want to say buy, would you not just wait a week for that Tottenham fixture to pass?
I'm going wait. Just because of the Tottenham fixture. Tottenham have failed to concede in 2 Premier League games. Man City away, Burnley at home. I just think bank your transfer. You never know what can happen even with injuries. I think Bournemouth could score away at Spurs this weekend, but there's also a possibility that they might not because Tottenham are riding high at the moment on confidence. Bournemouth, I feel like it's Semenyo or nothing right now. If he has an off game, Bournemouth might struggle. I would say wait a week. After that, they've got Brighton, Tottenham, Newcastle, Leeds. That's the perfect type of fixtures you want to bring him in for. So I would wait a week.
So the next play is Richarlison. And I'll be honest, Tyrone. Last week we had him in a void, but I'll be honest, I've changed my tune on Richarlison. I think he's looking really good. And I think he's given Thomas Frank something to think about in the number 9 role. I'm not going to say buy him, but I'm going to say wait a week because he's performing at a very high level now.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd actually agree with that because I would have been a void last week because I've been thinking, Dominic Solanke's going to come back into the team at some point. But at the end of the day, Thomas Frank seems to have given him a new lease of life. And it's like, do you know what? I'm coming into this club as a fresh start. And Richarlison at the moment is working hard. He got the assist for the goal against Man City on the weekend. He's got Bournemouth again at home, which I believe he's going to start again because you ain't changing a team that scored 5 and conceded none. So for me, if Richarlison then scores again this weekend, he's probably nailed on his starting spot for after the international break. So I would wait, see what happens, and then we go into the international break with a clear mind on Tottenham.
And Ty, you know the best thing about waiting for one more week with Richarlison is you come back to West Ham away, Brighton away, Wolves at home, Leeds away.
Yeah, even though they're away games, they're going to get chances in those games, 100%.
Those are fixtures to target. So Richarlison, we're going to say wait a week.
And the next player we are going on to is the New Zealand hitman. It is Chris Wood of Nottingham Forest. Let me just start this off. Let me make it short. Let me make it simple. He is a buy. They have West Ham United at home and West Ham are in free fall. There's going to be chances. They're going to want to get back to winning ways after a draw against Crystal Palace. And after that, yes, they face Arsenal, but then they've got Burnley and Sunderland. It's a no-brainer. They've got 3 of the best 4 fixtures they could possibly have. I don't know what else to say on that, Baines, really.
And I think with Chris Wood, I think there was maybe a slight concern about minutes with Iga Jesus coming in. But listen, on the weekend against Crystal Palace, Chris Wood still played 87 minutes. So he's clearly number 9, like the main number 9. He's clearly going to get minimum 80 minutes. is an excellent buy this week. So the next player is Jurrien Timber, coming off a 24-point in game week 2, which is ridiculous. So well done to anyone that had him. But Liverpool next. Tyrone, what do you think?
I'm a void actually on Timber. Despite Arsenal looking solid at the back as they do anyway, I just think Liverpool away, Forest home, City home, Newcastle, I think it's home or away. They're a tough four games. And, you know, if they get through them, and some people have got Arsenal assets, I would hold on to them. If you've already got Arsenal assets, hold, because they're already in your team and they're locked in. But if you're looking to buy Arsenal assets, I don't think defensively this is the time. I'd wait till after them fixtures and look to attack from game week 7. Also with Timber, and I think with Calafiori as well, it's the potential rotation with Ben White and also Lewis Skelly on the other side. It just gives you a bit of nightmares. You don't know who's going to be starting. So I would avoid right now or Timber. But fair play if you had him this week. Gutted for me. And the next player we're now looking at is the scorer for Spurs away at the Etihad. It is Mr. Brennan Johnson. Obviously, Bournemouth at home and a kind fixture run after that. Baines, are you buying, waiting, or avoiding?
I'll be honest, Brennan Johnson is a consideration in my own FPL team, because one thing we know with Brennan Johnson, he's going to score goals. He scored goals last year. Until Tottenham maybe sign a winger, obviously they've been linked to Semenyo and stuff, Brennan Johnson will play. He's a goal-scoring winger. Already got 2 goals this season. Accumulated 0.4 XG against Man City. I think he's a great pick. But obviously, the only thing you can probably say is minutes. Again, 77 minutes against Manchester City, 79 against Burnley. Obviously, Tottenham are going to sign someone, so maybe his minutes get reduced. But I'll be looking to buy him as of right now.
Okay, I think I can see your angle, and I could potentially agree with it, because if you buy him now and they do sign someone, at least you've got him for this one game week against Bournemouth. And when you think of the way Bournemouth play, Tottenham are probably going to have moments in transition, and Brennan Johnson is a transition demon. Like him and Elanga give me that sort of same profile that you really want them on transition. And I think this game's going to be open. I think Tottenham and Bournemouth is going to have goals this weekend. So I can understand the buy. I could also consider wait, because, you know, the transfer window will close. And then we can see what happens after the window. So I'm in the balance in between buy and wait. I actually don't really have a definitive answer on Brennan Johnson.
Okay, Tyler, let me ask you this. Bournemouth's weakness defensively is probably the right back, no?
100%. Adam Smith's side. I don't know Julian Araujo sometimes plays there.
Whoever they rotate there. So Brennan Johnson's going to be coming up against that. I think that's a brilliant positional matchup for you to target.
Yeah, and at the price point, I think it could be a buy.
So the next player is Kudus. Come on, Ty. What do you think now?
If Johnson's a buy, Kudus is a buy. He's guaranteed more minutes for me. I think he's their main player in terms of the build-up. The only problem for me with Kudus is that he's the build-up player, not the finishing player. Brennan Johnson is more of a finishing player at the end of like transitions and end of attacking roles. Whereas Kudus, they use him as the build-up because he's strong, he can turn, and then he plays the pre-pass. And that is what I'm slightly worried about. Can he get in the same positions that he did in the first game, where he set up Richarlison twice, or will he be used in the build-up more and then being more the halfway line and stuff where he's not really able to impact the game? But I'd be willing to take the risk on Kudus. I'm heavily considering him this weekend, but now I'm also considering Johnson. But yeah, Kudus is someone I'm definitely considering with the kind fixture run, and also I know that he's a minutes lock-in. I believe that he is going to carry on contributing throughout the season. It's just whether I can get the consistency, but I would buy him if you're buying Brennan Johnson as well.
See, I'm not too sure if I agree with that statement, because at least, for example, midfielders get more points with goals in it than assists.
Yeah.
And Brennan Johnson will get more goals than obviously Kudus. And over the first 2 games against Manchester City, Kudus accumulated an XG of 0. So that means nothing. Against Burnley, an XG of 0.06. So you're going to favor Brennan Johnson from an attacking point of view because he can bring more goals. That's the only reason. I think if I was buying a Tottenham mid, Brennan Johnson will be a buy.
Because he's at the end of things, isn't he? Yeah.
Exactly. And you get more points. Even though I
strongly think that, being honest, and this is what FPL is about, I was not considering Brennan Johnson until now.
Yeah.
And you really made me think about him.
I'm going to put Kudus on wait.
Okay,
because I'm not saying he's a bad pick, but I want to see another week if he's XG, if he can get into more goal scoring opportunities.
Based on the XG and looking at him against Man City, and I said he's in the pre-build up, he's the guy they go to twist and turn and then get the transitions going. I'm happy to be convinced and go wait on Kudus, guys. Make sure you're liking this video, by the way, and subscribing to the channel if you're new. And now we're talking about another team in London. It's Marc Cucurella from Chelsea. Now, Baines, you've had him in your team selection from game week 1. I believe you're very happy with your selection. If people haven't got him, should they buy, should they wait, or should they avoid?
Listen, I keep saying it. Watch Chelsea and watch Cucurella. Forget watching games on Google, like the team sheets and stuff. Stop watching games on SofaScore. Look at the positions Cucurella picks up. Because he's almost inverting into midfield. Sometimes he's the final line of attack. And I'm going to keep saying it. He's going to get into those goal-scoring opportunities. We saw it. Cucurella last year. He has the potential to get back-to-back 15-pointers. We can't say that about many other defenders. The potential is so high with Cucurella. And Chelsea are a decent defense, so you'll say his floor is relatively good as well. I can't believe more people don't have him, I'll be honest.
Great differential for you at the moment, and you've been saying about it since game week 1. If people have been locked into the chat, so this is a potential buy for me as well. I think when you look at it, Fulham at home, Brentford away, then they've got Man United away. That at this moment, you can't look at that as a tough fixture. He's going to get either chances, or he's going to get chances to cross, or he's potentially going to get clean sheets. I think when it comes to defenders, his ceiling of potential points is probably in the top 5 every week. So he is a buy for me.
Wait, just quickly, you say he's a differential. By the general ownership, he's owned by 24.3% of people. But if you're looking at top, maybe other content creators, no one has Cucurella for some reason. So the next play is Hugo Ekitike from Liverpool, again against Newcastle, scored. Tyrone, what do you think?
I really like Ekitike as a player. I wanted him at Man United, funny enough. I'm a Man United fan, of course. But, I like his hold-up play. I like his link-up. He's getting in more dangerous positions. I think he could have more points. There was a couple transitions even against Newcastle that he just didn't get quite under his feet. And if you see him gallop into space, he's very effective. But again, 2 goals in 2 games for Ekitike. However, with Arsenal coming up this weekend, the transfer window is still open. You don't know what's going to happen with the Isak situation still to the final day of the deadline. I would wait, because if you wait, you still got maybe your Liverpool assets in Wirtz, Gakpo, Salah, but then after that, they play Burnley. And that is the first game after the international break. If he comes back fit, he comes back fresh, he's the perfect player that you either want to get in for your draft of your free hit, or your team, or your wild card. Ekitike's wait, but that Burnley game is definitely one of them games you're looking to attack with him.
Another thing with Ekitike, and I've realized this with Liverpool over the last 2 weeks, and maybe, I'll be honest, I should have known this before. I think Liverpool have a big left-hand side bias right now, innit? Because if you look at Ekitike, he favours the left-hand channel as well, innit?
Yeah.
So does obviously Gakpo's already there, and so does Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is pretty better from the left, coming inside, or that left inside channel. That's a great area now for you to target in FPL, because that's where there's going to be a lot of the boys. That makes sense, innit? And that's what we've seen for the first 2 weeks in FPL, where
Gakpo and Ekitike are actually ones getting the points.
And Mo Salah's been a bit quiet on the right hand side. Obviously, he didn't help against Newcastle that he didn't have maybe a Frimpong or let's say a Conor Bradley down the right hand side, a natural right back helping him. But I think Liverpool have a good left hand side bias from an FPL point of view, where that's the area that I want to target, if that makes sense. So I do agree with Ekitike. He's a wait for now, but he's going to be strong consideration after the transfer window closes if Isak's not there.
100%. And last but not least, another Arsenal defender. It is Calafiori. He has had a strong start to his FPL campaign. Obviously not as good as Timber in game week 2, but who can really match that? But when you look at Arsenal's fixtures, we've got Timber in the avoid category. Are we looking at the same thing for Ricardo, Baines?
I think the answer is yes, but I'm not as avoid as Timber, if that makes sense, isn't it? And the only reason I say that, okay, against Manchester United, he got 13 points. He came off in the 71st minute. Against Leeds, another 13-pointer, 2 assists, came off in the 63rd minute. So he's clearly at this moment the starting left back, innit, for Arsenal. Early subs also does mean clean sheet points should be locked. But at the same time, I think in that left back role, he offers something that I don't think the other Arsenal left backs do. I think he's the best going forward from an offensive point of view. So there is part of me that thinks maybe
has it not surprised you though that Lewis Skelly's not started any of the 2 games? Because I think coming into the season, I expected Lewis Skelly to be the number 1 left back.
But I think the game before the season started, I think Lewis Skelly didn't start that one at left back, innit? So that's where, listen, we know how good Lewis Skelly is, innit? But I just think the role that Calafiori has and his skill set, no one else can offer that. in the Arsenal, like, let's say, left back row, innit? That's why,
Yeah.
'cause, like, let's say, left back row, innit? That's why, 'cause, like, let's say, left back row, innit? That's why, 'cause, like, let's say, left back row, innit? That's why, I would slightly be tempted, obviously, if Arsenal had better fixtures, taking that risk on minutes just because of what he can offer going forward.
Yeah, I think it's still an avoid for now. I think a lot
Mm.
can happen and change with Arsenal. They're also linked with Hincapie from
Yeah.
Bayer Leverkusen as well, who likes to play on the left-hand side. Left centre-back can play at left-back at times if needed as well. So they're obviously strong on buying another left-footed defender. So I would at least avoid before going into the international break and the tough run of games that Arsenal have. But it's still, like I said, Arsenal is all about game week 7 for me, which we'll get to when we get to. So here is our top 10 game week 3 transfers in. As you can see, should you buy, should you wait, should you avoid? Whether you agree or disagree, please get your comments in down below. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell for FPL Hive, and keep on track with our latest content. We'll see you soon.